Hello, on Videos A50 back with another solo how to play. Today we're looking at how to play the game OverThrone, a game of cards. It's a solo-only solitaire game. It just takes 5 to 10 minutes, and ages 8 and up. It's designed by Mark Tuck, who does a lot of solo games, including the trilogy games I looked at not too long ago, that being Orchard, Grove, and Forge, and I got more to come from him. This one just uses a standard deck of cards. 52 cards is what you need, and one joker, who will be the jester. I'm going to put that in there. The game has this whole prologue I'm not going to read off. But basically you have 4 noble houses. House Club, House Spade, House Diamond, found in Game of Thrones. Hearts are all about magic and alchemy. The diamonds are the richest in the area, in the kingdom. The clubs are religious and feel the throne is their divine right. And the spades is a warlike family. And you are playing a trusted, close advisor to the throne and are instrumental in maintaining a form of peace through a mixture of negotiation, bribery, threats, and promises, aka playing the cards. Each turn that you take is going to represent 1 year, so it's going to be 53 years because there's 53 cards. And yeah, and basically you're trying to get rid of all the cards in your hand according to the rules dictated by the ruler at the time. And if you do that, you win the game. If you don't, you may live, you may die. So it's kind of like Game of Thrones, but there's no TNA, there's no beheading, there's no gore. And it's slightly less exciting, but it's a pretty cool game. So you shuffle up the cards. I'm just using this clear plastic bicycle deck, waterproof deck. You're going to flip cards off the top until you get to a court card. That will be the first ruling party. Yeah, there we go, Queen of Diamonds. I'm going to take these, put them on the deck, and cut it into the middle. Then I'm going to deal myself a hand of 6 cards. If you want more of a challenge, you can just play with 5. So, at the start of the game, you can play a card to any of the foundations. Again, you got spades, clubs, diamonds, and hearts. It actually doesn't matter which side is which. You can do what you want, whatever you prefer. And the way it works is this. If a jack is in power, you can only play cards of that suit. If a queen is in power, you can play cards of that suit, or a card that matches the value of any other card currently in play, regardless of suit. And if the king is in power, you got those same 2 options. You also got the option to play a card on any suit as long as it is just a difference of 1 above or below. So I could play like a 5 on a 4 or a 3 on a 4. As an example, 2s are low, aces are high. Aces are the court advisors. You get the marshal, the treasurer, the magician, and the archbishop. And they can be used to help a lesser royal overthrow a king. Now, aces can be played onto the foundation, regardless of who is on the throne. And an ace is the only way you can overthrow a king with a jack. Won't go through it, hopefully, when we get to it. But basically, a jack can overthrow another jack. You can overthrow a queen if the value on the jack's suit pile is higher than the queen's suit pile. And he can overthrow a king only if he has an ace on his pile. The queen can overthrow a jack, no problem, or another queen. She can overthrow a king if the value of her suit pile is higher than the king or if he has an ace. Jack has to be an ace, the queen just has to be a higher value. And then a king can overthrow anyone. So yeah, so I'm going to have a hand of cards here. And I got a bunch of court cards. So for instance, right now, if I wanted to, this queen can overthrow that queen, no problem. The jack, if I wanted to, I would have to have a higher value on his pile. I don't right now, but I could. I put in this 4 out there. And the king can just overthrow the queen of well. At the start, when you have no cards on the foundations, regardless of what suit the queen is, you can play any card. So I will start with this one. Once you play, you draw back up. Maybe I play this one, just to give myself some options. And then, well, I could overthrow that queen with another queen. And I can play the diamonds here because it's still empty. And we'll draw a card. What you're trying to do is get through this whole deck. If you do that, if you play all the cards, then you will win the game. If you don't, like I said, you might live, you might get banished, you might get imprisoned, you might just escape, or you might be executed. If you're ever not able to play a card, you can discard a card into the rumors pile, as it's called, the discard pile. But at the end of the game, any cards you have in that are going to basically score against you. Same with any card you have left in your hand. Your hand basically is called the accusations. So let's just move on here. Right now I can play hearts. If only I had any, I can overthrow that card. With the hearts, if I had a 6 or a 4, I could play that right now because you can play cards that are the same value. With not a heart, with the queen. You know what? The jack is going to overthrow the queen. He can, so he will. He has a 4, so he doesn't have any power. I think that's a legal move. Aces can be played at any time, just for the record. But I'm going to play this 2 instead. And now I have to play clubs, and that's it. Or I can play the aces. So I'll play the ace of diamonds. I can play that heart because I have nothing there. But now I'm back to playing clubs. So I guess I have no choice. Well, I do actually have a choice. I'm going to overthrow that with a spade. So with the spades, or the king I should say, I can play, on this, I can play any spade. On, let's say, the 6 of hearts, I can play a 5 or a 7, 1 card difference. Or I can play aces, of course. I got all the aces to my advantage here right now. Or I could play a card that's the same value or something. So on the 6, I could play a 2 or an ace right now. But let's just see, spades, right? I do have a spade, so I will play, let's play the 10. 2, okay, I can play that because I have a 2. We'll continue with the spades. Well, I'm just going to play the ace of spades. And now here comes the jack of diamonds. And I no longer have the ace of diamonds, so the jack cannot overthrow that king at all, because the ace of diamonds would have to be on top of the deck, on top of his pile. It's not. In fact, he has the weakest army right now, if you will. So that's unfortunate. Well, I have no choice but to play the ace of hearts. And then I'll play the ace of clubs. Let's just get rid of all the aces. That's really good. Now, I should point out as well, in this middle pile, you can only play the court cards by overthrowing out the court cards. But I could play this jack on the diamonds if I had the option. I currently do not. I do have an option, though. That is, I can play this 3 on the 2. Because it's 1 difference. Again, above and below, 1 difference. Then I can play this 4. Then I can play this 5. So why not? Since I have a 5, I can play a 5. Let me play this 3 over here. I guess I can play this 5 over here. Now I just really screwed myself over in terms of overthrowing a king. but I don't have much of a choice here. Okay, I can play the free because I have a free. Darn. Well, it would appear I have to discard a card. So let's just discard a 6. Yeah, we get a 7. That's not very helpful. Okay, there's a 5. You have a max of 6 cards, and you're always going to have 6. Unfortunately, this is not going very well for me. Okay, we got the Joker, the Jester. The Jester can go anywhere. It becomes a 0 in value. I'm going to put it here. And when the Jester is here, if I ever get a diamond back on here, I can take this diamond back. That's the only way I can take a card back from the discard pile. Not having a lot of luck here in terms of what I can play. Darn. Well, I'll put this diamond here. And we get another diamond. This is not going well. I can say that much. Okay, finally we can play a card. I'll play this one. It says 1 higher, so I can play that. I can play that. I'm going to overthrow this king and bring back this jack. Now I've used that one, that ability. Oh, I need a card. I only have a few. And we will overthrow that king with another king. That way I can play some hearts. Now, as to point out, probably a good time to point out, I cannot overthrow King of Hearts with another heart because you would have to have a higher value with that suit than the King suit, and they're the same suit, so you can't do that. Wistful thinking, perhaps. Well, I guess I can play this over here. And this one. And this one. Oh, and this one. Instead of shuffled better, apparently. Okay, the king is going to overthrow this king. You can play this one here. Apparently I don't have enough cards. There we go, 6. Now we're kind of boned. Well, I guess we have no choice but to play this queen here. Get the last card. And I am boned. I've never done this poorly in playing this game. I've played it a few times. I cannot play any more cards because I have to play. Well, actually, that's not true. I can play this 9 in here because it's a 1 difference. I can do that at the very least. But that is it. I can only play cards again with the king that are the same value as anything that's in play. Technically, I can play the jack because it's the same value as this jack. It got lost on me there. And then this is 1 difference. So I guess we got rid of a few cards there. Let's see. Okay, I don't have any frees. I don't have any queens or jacks left. And I don't have anything that is... I don't have a 2 or 4 of hearts. I don't have any kings or jacks to play on those queens or the jack. So yeah, we done. So, I didn't get rid of all the cards. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Uh-oh. I have too many cards. So, I got too many accusations and rumors against me. So, this is what's going to happen. If I got rid of all my cards, I would have survived and I would have won. I didn't. If you have 1 to 3 cards left, you still have a couple of friends who help you escape, and you end up traveling incognito to another Disney kingdom. 4 to 7 cards. I have 8. If this kingdom, if this house is the same one that was at the start, it's not. If it was, you would have been spared. They would have shown you some mercy, but it's not. So in this case, if I had 4 to 7 cards left, I, instead of being banished, I would be imprisoned. But since I have 8 or more, I'm dead. Me executed. Anyway, that's the game. It's a pretty interesting game. I wish I had done better, but yeah, it is what it is. Can't win them all, right? And that's just how this Soul Sunday stuff usually works. I don't usually do very well. Anyway, that is the game. Comment, like, subscribe, and know what you think. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. That's Overthrown.